first graders, happy Friday. You know what that means? It's another science day. Over the last couple of weeks, we've been learning about animal adaptations. And all the way up until this point, you've learned that animal adaptations usually include some sort of special body part or some sort of ability that the animal has that helps it survive in its environment, either to stay safe from predators or to get food, or to stay warm in the winter. And so today we did a little switch. We've been talking about special body parts or abilities that the animals have, but today we're learning about not just the parts of the body that help them stay alive or help them survive, but the behaviors, things that they do that help them survive. So earlier in the day, you made yourself a den as if you were hibernating for the winter. You got to pretend to be a bear, which was super fun. And I was really excited about seeing your dens. You did a great job on them. Today, and if you haven't made your den yet, you can still make it later today. It's super fun. This afternoon, you're going to do something to help some other animals that happen to be migrating right about this time of year. Lately, you may have noticed some huge, gigantic groups of birds all flying together in a big pack.
I got one board.
Jackson Mann was on his way to karate and must have forgot something, so he just came running through here. But it's right about this time of year when the weather starts to really drop a lot, right in the fall, early winter, where you'll see lots of birds flying around in huge packs. What they're doing is they're getting ready to move south towards warmer weather now that it's going to be cold up here. It's going to be harder for them to find food, and so they move further south or to any kind of warmer climate until it gets warmer here, and then they'll come back. And Doug just talked to you about the reasons why they won't come back. Bye, Doug.
Hi.
He's on his way to break some boards at karate. So anyway, this time of year, there's going to be a lot of birds, a lot of even some sea animals, some certain fish that migrate, that move towards warmer weather. On their way, if you're a bird, you're going to have to stop for rest every once in a while. You're going to have to stop to find some food every once in a while. And so if there are birds passing through this area on their way to warmer climates and they need to stop for rest or food, it might be a little hard for them to find food right now because all of the trees and the berries and things are falling off the branches, and there's just not as many flowers and things like that out. So we're going to help those birds who are migrating and who are flying through the area on their way to warmer weather today with our next science activity. So I have just raided my cabinet. Mr. Mann thought I was super hungry because I had some peanut butter and some crackers and some cereal and some chips and some noodles. And he gave me a really funny look and said, "Do you want me to make you something to eat?" I said, "No, I'm feeding the birds." That's what you're going to do this afternoon. You're going to feed the birds, okay? So I'm going to start with a toilet paper, an empty toilet paper roll. You might have an empty paper towel roll. You may not have either. You may have the edge of a cardboard box, okay? You can use a piece of cardboard, any kind of piece of cardboard. You can use a toilet paper roll, you can use a paper towel roll. Parents, I have even gone out and used a twig off of a tree, okay? So you're gonna use anything that you can start as a base. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna use this stuff as glue, okay? So you're going to take your peanut butter, whether you're using a paper towel roll, a toilet paper roll, the edge of a piece of cardboard box, a stick that you find outside, anything that you can lather some, that you can spread peanut butter on will work just as well, okay? I have poked a hole in my toilet paper roll. You can get a grown-up to help you do that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little bit of string. Of course it's all tangled up. But I'm going to use a little bit of string to put in the hole that I punched out, okay? So after you put your string through the hole on your paper towel holder or toilet paper holder or piece of cardboard, whatever you might be doing, you're going to pull it through. All right. And I'm just going to tie a little knot so that I can go out and hang it either on a tree branch or a fence post or anything like that. Okay, so that the birds can eat off of it. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to take your toilet paper roll or paper towel or whatever, paper towel roll or stick that you might find outside. You're going to take peanut butter and you're just going to rub it on there, spread it out like you're making a peanut butter sandwich. Okay? All right. So this is going to act like glue, and you're going to glue your bird food on here with the peanut butter. Now, you're going to kind of need it a little thick, because if you don't make it a little thick, the food isn't going to stick to it. It'll just fall off. Okay. So after you have peanut butter covered around your base, okay, now you're going to figure out what you're going to feed your birds. Now, here's where you're going to get creative. You do not just have to feed birds bird seed, because when birds are flying around out in the wild, they're not just going to specifically look for bird feed like we would have in the store. So what you're going to do is you're going to look in your cabinet. I have a piece of bread that I have toasted. I have some chips that I can crumble up. I have some cereal. I'm just going to reach down in here and I'm just going to get a handful of cereal. Okay. Okay, don't get in trouble for making a mess. And don't tell your parents that Mrs. Mann told you to make a mess. Okay. So, I have some crackers. I can take a cracker or two. Okay, and here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to crumble things like the cracker. I'm going to kind of crumble it up. If Mr. Mann was here, he could take care of my camera for me, but he's not here. I can take my chips and crumble them up. Okay. And if you want to use some pasta, rice is a good thing to use too, if you have rice outside. Okay, all right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm also going to just like kind of break the bread up too. And now it's almost like a little puzzle, okay? So if this is the bird's plate, you can take your little pieces of food and you can stick them in different places to your base. Now, the birds are not going to care how pretty this is. You can even roll it in the food. But basically what you're going to do is you're going to keep sticking things to it until it's covered. Okay. Notice Mrs. Mann has a paper towel laying down on her countertops. That's so Mr. Mann doesn't get mad at me for making a mess. So you might want to put some a paper towel or something down on your countertops too, because when I'm finished, all I have to do is roll it up and I'll have it all ready to throw in the garbage. Okay. So I'm just going to keep sticking things to my paper towel roll until it's all covered. Okay. And once it's all covered, I'm gonna have my little bird feeder. Okay. So that is all things that a bird and his friends would be excited about finding when they're flying south for the winter and they get tired and they have to come down and stop for a rest and for some food before they go on the rest of their journey. So here's what you're going to do. Again, you don't have to have a toilet paper roll. If you have a paper towel roll, that works. Or you can find a box and just rip off the edges of the box and put the hole in there. Anything that you can spread peanut butter on will help, or will work. And anything you have in your cabinet that will work for food. You want dried food. You don't want anything out of your refrigerator. You don't want meat or fruit or anything like that. Well, you could use fruit, but you really want to use dried stuff because when you hang it outside, the dry food is going to last longer before it goes bad, okay? And it won't attract as many bugs and stuff as wet food will. So what you're gonna do is I'm gonna take this now. It's dark outside, so you're not going to see me if I take you outside and hang this out on my tree. But I will take a picture of it and post it so that you can see where my bird feeder is when you do this project, okay? So when you make your bird feeder, and all of our bird feeders are gonna look different because we all have different things in our cabinet. When you make your bird feeder, you're going to post a picture of your bird feeder hanging outside where you choose to feed the birds. Now, first graders, let me give you a little bit of advice. If I hang this from a branch and it's sticking out and it's hanging from the branch, the birds aren't going to be able to fly in midair to eat off of it. So you're going to want to put this somewhere where the birds can sit, either on a fence post or another branch or somewhere like that, so that they can get the food. So let a grown-up help you make a really good decision as to where you're going to hang your bird feeder, okay? So I cannot wait to see what your finished bird feeders look like. I cannot wait to hear where you hung them. And what's going to even be the most exciting thing is to sit back and watch over the next couple of days or week and see what kind of birds come to feast on your bird feeder. Maybe while you're having Thanksgiving dinner and you're chowing down on Thanksgiving dinner, there will be birds chowing down on your bird feeder, okay? All right, so have a great time feeding the birds, and Mrs. Moore and I will see you at 2 o'clock, and you can tell us all about it, okay? Have a good time, scientists.